They kicked a black woman and her elderly mother out of a luxury hotel, thinking they were nobodies. But 20 minutes later, the entire staff was gone because they had no idea who she really was. What starts as a simple hotel check-in turns into a stunning moment of justice. A black CEO and her mother were humiliated and thrown out of a five-star hotel. Without warning, without reason. But within 20 minutes, the hotel staff found themselves on the receiving end of a power they never saw coming. This isn't just a story about disrespect. It's a story about silent power and what happens when the right person is underestimated. It was supposed to be a peaceful weekend getaway. A highly respected CEO, known across the country for building one of the fastest-growing tech companies in the U.S., had flown into town to spend time with the woman who meant everything to her, her mother. They'd booked a premium suite at one of the city's most luxurious five-star hotels. Every detail was in place. But what was supposed to be a relaxing stay quickly turned into an unforgettable storm of arrogance, disrespect, and power. The CEO and her mother had just arrived. Smiles on their faces, designer bags in hand, they approached the front desk, only to be met with icy stares and dismissive attitudes. The concierge barely looked up. The staff whispered behind the counter. Then came the insult. Without checking the reservation, the front desk clerk told them flatly that this hotel wasn't a place for everyone and that they might be more comfortable somewhere else. The implication was clear. It wasn't about availability. It was about appearance, about who they thought these women were. Despite their calm explanations, including showing the confirmed booking, the hotel manager was called over and doubled down. He coldly stated that there must have been a mistake and that there was no room for them even though they'd paid in advance. No apology, no options, no humanity. Embarrassed but composed, the CEO took her mother's hand and quietly walked away. But what the staff didn't know, what they couldn't have known, was who they had just insulted. They hadn't just disrespected a guest, they had disrespected the owner's business partner. Yes, that very hotel, along with a chain of others, had recently been acquired by a large investment group. And the woman they had just kicked out? She wasn't just any CEO, she was one of the silent investors behind the group that now owned the property. Within minutes, she made a single phone call. Not 20 minutes later, chaos swept through the hotel like wildfire. The regional director, who had never before stepped foot in that location, arrived in person. The same manager who had dismissed her was summoned into a private office and never returned to the front desk. Staff began whispering. Phones rang non-stop. Word spread fast. Security footage showed the CEO and her mother re-entering the hotel lobby, this time with a quiet, confident stride. No bags, no anger, just presence. The new general manager, appointed on the spot, greeted them personally. A red carpet was rolled out. Their suite, now upgraded to the presidential level, was prepared in record time. And as they were escorted upstairs, a line of employees, including the clerk who first insulted them, were being escorted out. Guests watched in confusion. Employees looked stunned. But those who understood what had just happened knew they had witnessed something deeper than a hotel incident. They had seen the sharp edge of quiet power, the kind that doesn't yell, doesn't beg, and doesn't forget. By the next morning, several resignations and terminations had been made official. Diversity and inclusion training was ordered across the chain. And a personal letter of apology was hand-delivered to the CEO and her mother. Not that they needed it. The message had already been sent. This wasn't just about a luxury suite or a ruined check-in. It was about dignity, about respect, about what happens when people in power use that power not for revenge, but for change. And to those who looked down on her simply because of her skin color or her quiet entrance, they learned a painful truth. Never judge someone by how they walk into the room, because the next time, they just might own it. In just 20 minutes, the entire hotel staff learned a brutal lesson. Never judge someone by how they look or where they come from, because power doesn't always wear a suit or announce itself. Sometimes it walks in quietly and walks out owning everything. If you found this story powerful, make sure to like, share, and subscribe for more real-life moments where justice hits back harder than anyone expected.